You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Tuesday, Election Day. Rock the vote. Remember that? MTV, 80s, rock the vote. Maybe I'm the oldest guy in the room. Hey, welcome to the show. This is the show, the only show, the show you showed up for. Thanks for coming to the show. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. We're certainly glad to have you with us. Thanks for showing up. Hey, I've got a chart up of the NASDAQ. It's always the S&P. I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. This morning, we had an entry to get long at, let me break it down, 69.73 to be exact. 69.73. A target up at 69.83, then a final target 69.93. $400 per contract traded. Now the swing high made $1,200 per contract available. Now, can you get out at a target? Yes. Can you get out at a final target? Yes. Can you get out at a swing high? Only by accident. Although there are, you know, some telltale signs that might put your feet on the street up in this area. But as far as an exit signal, an official CFRN Emini indicator exit signal, nope, got nothing. Take a look. Here we go. We got nothing. No exit signal. Okay, very good. So how are you? Having a good day? Did you go vote? Not only did I go vote and put out the NQ trade and the Crude trade, which were good, I voted. And I got the little sticker. My dilemma is which child to give it. They only get, why didn't I get 2 stickers? Hey, I got kids. All right. I have more time to get the girl child perfect. The boy child, he's almost grown, 16. He thinks he is grown. He's not, is he? All right. So, as I was typing on the screen, important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So, we shot up. Market made $1,200 per contract available. Came all the way back to the entry. Your risk can be greatly reduced on the second and third entry in many, many cases. Okay. Now, we're old-fashioned fuddy-duddies, they call us, because we use hard stops, right? I've seen many a promising trader bite the dust. Cue it. Another one bites the dust. No, I have. I've seen a number of promising traders wrestle with the concept of a hard stop. Oh, if I put a hard stop, they're going to run it. Okay, whatever. They're not. Yeah. Now, I've also heard this is different. Turns out it really wasn't. It took a while. And did people make a scat of money while they were under the illusion that this time it really was different? They did. They made, in fact, it's that dumb money earned during the first tech boom that's funding all the foolishness, all the unicorns, all the wonderful technology and flying cars and everything that we have today came out of what was called at the end the dot-com bomb. Really? A bomb? So, I got a little bit of news for you. Globalization and the interaction between governments and participants in the, you're going to want to write this down, Fourth Industrial Revolution. Yeah, it's only one T in industrial. 2 O's in revolution. Got it? Fourth Industrial Revolution. Including players from the cryptocurrency industry. Now, that's going to be the main theme of the World Economic Forum in Davos from January 22nd to 25th of 2019. The annual meeting in the Swiss mountain resort brings together over 2,000 business and political leaders, economists, and journalists to discuss pressing economic issues and shape global, regional, and industry agendas. It's kind of a big deal. And the WEF's president announced the theme of the next event while speaking to journalists in Geneva. For us as an international organization, it's very important to ensure global cooperation because what we face today, geopolitical and geoeconomic challenges in a multipolar world. Oh, that's a new medical diagnosis. I thought I was bipolar. Turns out I was multipolar. The challenges and the opportunities associated with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Oh God, I can't believe I didn't coin that phrase, but I didn't. The Fourth Industrial Revolution. John's going to love that. It needs more cooperation. Yeah. The participants in this high-level forum will discuss the establishment of a general framework for the interaction between these different parties. Brenda made it clear he was referring to cooperation between the states and individual players involved in the development of new technologies like those associated with cryptocurrencies and distributed ledgers. The WEF will also focus on topics such as Brexit and the changing economic climate in the European Union. While we're in Switzerland, we should mention this. The Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, known as FINMA, believes banks should estimate the risks associated with cryptocurrency assets at 8 times their market value. That's according to a confidential letter sent to Expert Suisse, an association representing Swiss trustees and accountants. The correspondence, seen by Swiss Info, gives an idea about FINMA's current stance on the matter. The regulator considers cryptocurrencies as volatile assets despite the low levels of volatility seen in recent months. See, that dog's not going to hunt much longer because of the low volatility, although yesterday we saw extreme volatility. So FINMA wants to limit cryptocurrency trading activities to 4% of the total capital of financial institutions and says banks should report when they've reached that level. See, this is a sideways compliment. What are they saying? Blah, 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 blah. But in between the blahs, banks, you're going to go to you need crypto, you're going to go to the bank. You need to store your crypto, you're going to go to the bank. See, banks had to step up and say, we embrace this, or they were going to be kicked to the curb, like the horse and buggy that they are. Moving on. Hey, looking for cheap, clean power? Across Ciudad del Este, pardon the Spanish, cheap and abundant electricity from the Atapu Dam powers, or is that Italian? I don't even know. I think it's Spanish. About 20,000 cryptocurrency mining rigs with fortune seekers converging on the city from other parts of Paraguay, as well as countries such as Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, and the U.S. development experts, however, think that the authorities should raise electricity prices and use the proceeds to tackle widespread poverty. According to a recent feature in The Guardian, politicians and development experts are considering a number of alternative propositions, including redirecting exported electricity to domestic industries, renegotiating fair prices with project partner Brazil, and tapping companies from Silicon Valley to manufacture with clean energy in Paraguay. It is expected that the proceeds would be sown back into social investment to address economic inequality and provide social welfare services for a population with skewed access to employment, healthcare, education, and transport infrastructure. Speaking of jobs, Foxconn. We've all heard of Foxconn. Did you know they have a plant, a factory, in Wisconsin? Did you know they're having a hard time hiring people to work in that factory? Why? Well, apparently we don't have enough people. What? Let me break it down. Foxconn has higher-ups that are going around Wisconsin to high schools, colleges, trying to lure these students away from school, or at least get them interested in working for Foxconn, making a commitment that they will work for Foxconn. Either get up and just walk out of class, or get your diploma and then come to work. Now, they're paying big bucks. There's a lot of Chinese engineers that could fill those positions because Foxconn is a Chinese company. But guess what? This is the Trump economy. Even though China is under economic sanctions, my goodness, they're doing so good that these Chinese engineers are turning up their nose. No, I don't want to live in Wisconsin. Now, I'll stay here in Shanghai and just breathe the pollution. Wisconsin, no. We can't even import workers. The Trump economy goes global. Make sure you go vote, all right? One more little bit of news. BCH posted a strong performance this past week, rallying by nearly 50% from a retest of 2018's low at approximately $410 on October 31st, currently trading at roughly $615. The rally appears to have produced a double bottom, or what some people would call a W. They say if it looks like a W, trade it like a W. If it looks like an M, trade it like an M. Double top, double bottom. The M's the double top, the W the double bottom. When measuring BCH against BTC, BCH is currently trading at the highest price posted since August 9th at roughly 0.0945 BTC after breaking above multi-month resistance at approximately 0.09 BTC. Ripple has rallied to rival Ethereum as the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap for the first time since September 21st, with XRP briefly ranking above ETH at approximately 9 o'clock UTC on November 6th. As of this reading, Ripple is the third largest crypto with a market cap of over $21.4 billion, trailing slightly behind Ethereum's $22 billion. In the last 2 days, XRP has posted price gains of roughly 15%, with Ripple currently trading for approximately 54 cents, American cents, 54 Abraham Lincoln pennies, or, as they say in the parlance, 0.0000831 BTC. In just the last 4 hours, XRP rallied as high as 56, almost 50, we'll call it 57 cents. If it's more than a 6, you round up. Go Ripple. Remember when Ripple was something you stuck into the prom? But you didn't do that. Let's take a look at the numbers from around the world on this Rock of the Vote Tuesday. We'll start in the U.S. with cash markets. We'll get to the futures momentarily. Right now, the Dow is up 107 points. NASDAQ is up 36. S&P 500 up 10. And the Russell 2000 up 2. In the commodity basket, it's a tale of a different color. Crude oil down $1.57, or as we say, 2.5%, trading 61.53 last. Gold losing $3.70 so far in this session, trading 1228.60 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei added 248 points, Shanghai lost 6, and the Hang Seng added 186 points. Now for the Nikkei, that's a gain of a little over 1%. In the European markets, it's a big red radio day there. The FTSE lost 63 points by the close, the DAX was down 10 at the close, and the CAC lost 26. That's a big deal for the CAC. That's half of 1%. So it was a mixed day in Asia, a red day in the UK, and here at home it's green. But keep in mind the Russell 2000, which is right about here, it's ready for another leg up. But cash market, Russell 2000 up less than 2 points. If the Russell slips into the red, could the small caps lead the large caps down with them? We'll see. Michael, welcome to the show.
I am here.
Key it up. How are you? Chat's in the chat box. What do you think? What's up with the market? Is it because of the election? David, you already left?
Damn. I will
Sam?
I will send that to you right away.
Hey, Sam, make sure we got the right email. Make sure we got the right email on you, and make sure that you're on the... Well, I guess we have to make sure you're on the list. Because when we send those out, it's like a blanket thing. So you should have got them. Now, if you use Gmail and some of the other mails, hey, Bob Z, how are you, brother?
Bob Z.
I don't short crypto much, but when I do, Bob Z shorts it for me. Canada, where it's legal. Okay, buddy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
Put it in your strong, capable hands if you'll take it.
Okay. I will take care of it then. Here it goes.
Yeah,
So
you know
we're on
what,
my side.
Sam, Gmail, it plays hide the cheese with your emails. Have you...
I just sent it to you, Sam, so you should have it right now.
Yeah, see, Dan's like, when we hand send it to Dan, as we do, he gets it. But when the list sends it, he doesn't get it. And it's got, and everybody that has a problem, well, there's only 2 people. And Sam, I can't even put you in that category yet, because I got to try like 5 times to send it. And I can only do that once a week, because I only mail that list once a week with the zones. All right, I got your charts up, looking good, and my plan is to be back before you're done.
Okay. All right. You go fire up that Crude.
Got it.
I will have my Gatorade, and I'll get going here. All right. So you're looking at the charts right now, and what I need to put up here is this page, because this is where you go to get a free trial. You go to the home page at CFRN.net, and right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial apply.cfrn.net. Click on that. Once you click that, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then hit the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the trial. Okay, so make sure you hit that confirmation link. All right, now the spreadsheet. Today was a really slow day, guys. These elections, everybody's sitting on their hands right now. Well, except for crude traders. Most people are sitting on their hands right now. Retail people, anyway. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 6th day of November 2018. We made 15 ticks on crude. That was our day. So we're plus 150 on the morning. Today it took 78 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract. And we took a total of 4 trade opportunities this morning. On the month now, we're at 565. That's over 4 days, averaging 141 per day. On the year, we're at $31,943. That's over 206 days, averaging $155 per day. 155 per day. That's 1 contract, 2 hours per day. Again, the goal is to get you to trade more than 1 contract. Okay? You see these numbers over here? They keep adding up because it's 1 contract added per month. And that's still just 2 hours a day. Okay? Okay. Let's start out with the gold. We didn't do anything on gold, but we missed 1 trade right here. That would have been a break even. And gold, obviously, in a downtrend, but we just didn't get the trade setups. And down here, it got too close to the bottom. You know, you're going into the low of the day right here, so you can't short right there. And that was during the break anyway. Over here, during the break again, dynamic resistance printing right there. You know, you don't want to take any momentum trades going into dynamic resistance. But since the trend is clearly down here, you probably don't want to go long anyway. Just a thought. Okay. Look at this horrible, horrible market right here on the euro. Just up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down across the BBC. Look at all the wicks that we have in here. There was just nothing tradable there on the euro today. Right now, it's going to bounce off the BBC. It put in a higher swing, and it's going to bounce off the BBC with bullish divergence or bullish separation, and the cycle being blue and the MA1 being blue. So there's a chance there right now, but during the morning session, there was nothing. It was just garbage. And crude oil, for those of you guys who do the daily double, or who don't do the daily double, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show it to you. I don't know how to get rid of all those things. But this was the daily double this morning. Consider selling crude GCL Z8 at 62.20. 62.20. Look where we are right now. And everybody had an opportunity to get into that. It came out at 11.18, and then at like 11.19 it dropped into 62.20, and then it pulled back up to 62.22, and then it just dropped. Crude is the only place where we had any trades today, and I missed a few while I was talking and going over some things. But here we go. We started out here with a break even, then another break even, and we missed a short. We missed another short. The second one would have been a break even. First one would have gotten us some profit. Then the cycle started to reset here. Okay. And then we got all the way over here, and we finally got a bounce off the BBC with a little bit of an uptrend, and we took 10 ticks profit on that. That's what got us our goal for the day. And the follow-up trade, you know, when the green line gets up into the cycle, you anticipate it's going to pull back and do it all over again, which it did do. And we picked up 5 more ticks right there. Then it changed directions again right here when the MA1 crossed below the BBC. Gave a little space here, then it pulled back up, gave a shorting opportunity right there. Would have been a break even. I did not do anything with it. And I was talking when all this was going on over here, when the crude just started to drop. And it was 11.18 right in here when Dwayne said sell 62.20 on the daily double. And right there it got triggered. It pulled back up 3 ticks, and then it just tanked and kept going and going and going. And if we look at this, if we look at this on a larger time frame, I know Dwayne likes the 30-minute, but I like the 15-minute. There was no reason to get out of the trade. Even now, still no reason to get out of the trade. Okay, if you just, you know, put the target on there and that's all good. Okay, but even on a 30-minute, there's still no reason. But we'll go back to the 4-tick range. Currently, it's really choppy, and I anticipate it's going to be like that all day, right? That was crude today. We ended up with plus 15 on crude. On the ES, we didn't do anything on the ES, but did we highlight a couple? Yeah, the ES started out with a nice uptrend right here. Okay, if we look at the ES on, again, we'll go to a 15-minute chart. Now, we started out the morning right here with a nice uptrend. Okay, then right here at 11 o'clock, bang, right back down to the BBC. Oops, wrong day. Sorry, we started out with a nice uptrend. And then right here at 10 o'clock, bang, right back down to the BBC. But it's, yeah, Dwayne had put in the telegram, look for a 10 a.m. reversal. And we did get it. We did get a 10 a.m. reversal. And it came back down. And right now, all these bars are just, there is no decision or direction in the market right now. We had a couple of trades that we highlighted. This one right here would have stopped out. We didn't highlight any on this move up right here, because most of it was in the pre-market. Then it got really choppy, and then we highlighted one over here that would have given something, and that was it. And that was it, guys. And it is 12:30. Let me just go and check and see if John's in here before Dwayne comes back. Yes, John is in here. Okay, so Dwayne must have pinged him. All right, and with that, we will pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain in Studio A, where Dwayne is, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And John is in too, so I can open his mic if you want. Dwayne. Okay. He must have had trouble with the Keurig. Forgot the free trial. Oh, I did. Oh, you're right. Thanks, Bob. Okay. So we'll go through this again one more time really quick. I always try to do the same thing every day because that's just me. I am a man of habit. Today is the 6th day of November 2018. We made 15 ticks on crude. Today it took 78 minutes, 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. We took a total of 4 trades. We're at 565 on the month. It's over 4 days, averaging 141 per month. Last month was our best month of the year. Okay, and we started off kind of slow last month. We ended strong, but we started off slow. So far this month, we're at 565. On the year now, we're at 31,943. And that's over 206 days, averaging 155 bucks a day. Again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. And if you have not taken a free trial, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column where it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. You click on that. When you do that, you'll be brought to this page. All we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Click the submit button, and then you'll be sent a confirmation link. It says you're almost done. Click this link. And once you click that link, then we know you took the trial, and then you'll start getting information from us. Okay? Everything about how to get in to do the free trial and all that good stuff. And a nice bounce off the BBC right there on the euro. And that right there is textbook. Okay. Step 1 is the MA1, crosses the BBC. The BBC is green. MA1 is the red and blue. Step 2, it pulls away. Step 3, it pulls back down and touches it. Step 4, down here in the slingshot, you have bullish separation between the cycle and the green line. And in this case, the cycle is blue, the MA1 is blue, and we bounced off the BBC. Highest probability trade setup we have right there. And it just happened right in front of me.
Live in real time. Beautiful.
The entry point is the next up close after it hits the BBC. Okay, so it would be right here.
That was magnificent.
Yeah, it is. That is it right there.
Ran right up there, touched the red dot, and then said,
yep.
No, let me run away.
This would have been a
These
perfect
dots don't
target.
repaint, by the way, guys. Our dots do not repaint.
Nope, once they're there, they're there. Once they're in,
Many a trader has chased the disappearing dot painter. Those are very common. Finding one that doesn't, that holds its ground. Once it makes a decision, it says, "Hey, I'm here for the duration." And look at how price turns. It flips. How does it know ahead of time? Huh? A lot of code, baby. Lots of code.
yes.
It's way over my head.
Here, I'm going to take a little screenshot of this because I'm remaking my trade setup pictures, and that's a perfect example. Oh, hey, you gotta take the charts because
a little video.
All mine just got lost. I did make a video. I have 3 videos, as a matter of fact, that I send out to people. But all my charts just disappeared. Here, let me see if I can bring them back up.
I got mine. Here, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. There we go.
Oops.
That should do the trick.
Yep, I can see yours now.
Party,
And did you want me to open John's mic up?
If he's here, absolutely, before he slips off.
Yes, he is. Because it's been a couple days, hasn't it? There we go.
No, he came yesterday. He came yesterday
Okay.
after the hoopla. He came. Now, today's Tuesday. We have a webinar today at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's not going to last. It's not going to be really long. Hey, John, welcome to the show. I'm going to put the link in the chat box for you guys as John and I are talking. If you have any questions about anything, please put them in the chat box. No one sees what you type except Michael, myself, and Bert if he happens to pop in. John, good to have you with us.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thanks for the invite. Few things. You were asking about what was making the market rally this morning, and really yesterday. We had a bit of a pullback overnight, but it was fairly subdued. And I came in pretty early. Actually, woke up about 6 this morning, and the looked like we were going to break down, but we sort of turned more, a little bit later, just after, between 6 and 7, started rallying into the open, sorry, and pretty much took off from the open. And there was a reason why the market rallied yesterday as well as it did. Fairly unusual going into an election. Look, we actually talked about it on the radio yesterday about all these guys got their head in the sand. They don't realize this polling thing. It's a very hit and miss kind of a deal these days, because
I agree.
They might have to make 10,000 to 20,000 calls, just not to get 1,000, but just maybe even a few hundred responses. So, and what that means is a lot of people don't answer the phone, so and
do you answer the phone to a strange number?
No, not normally.
No, neither do I.
So that may be part of it, and then you have to ask yourself, well, who are
exactly
who are the moochers who are answering the phone? And they're very malleable, and they might be giving all kinds of distorted opinions. So the kind of personality that might do that. So
I have not heard that term. That term mooch, I have not heard it used in this context. Last night. This is funny how this seems to happen a lot, and I guess it happens to everybody, and it's probably just a coincidence, but I was listening to a podcast last night, This American Life, and it had one of the, it's usually a 3-act podcast, and the third act, maybe it was the second or third act, was about a guy, David Diamond, or his last name was Diamond, really, legitimately by birth, and he was a telephone scamster. And he called people and scammed them out of their life savings, and he was really quite good at it. And the authorities, the Attorney General, they had recorded him and all of these things. And so then they set him up, and they somehow got a list into him, and he was calling the list. So he was calling FBI volunteers with recorders. And this woman was pretending to be Marge so-and-so, a lady who had bought all kinds of things over the phone, and they were trying to trap him. And the FBI guy who was narrating this thing, he called Marge a mooch. And his definition of mooch was anybody who will buy anything from anybody over the telephone. As long as there's a telephone involved, the mooch will buy. Now, years ago, I heard that almost every day as a man who ran call centers most of his life. That's when it was a legitimate practice. These days, it's not. It's worse than it ever was. You think it would get better? It's so bad right now. When they used to call them boiler rooms, they were actually nice places to work. These call centers are faceless, soulless, and many of them do not have your best interest at heart. In fact, an estimate that I read not too long ago said that by 2020, over 50% of the calls that you receive will be spam and or scam calls. People are really gonna, and it's gonna really hit the valley hard here, the Valley of the Sun, because we have probably the largest call center population, other than maybe we might be rivaled by Los Angeles, and I think Las Vegas trails a distant third. Thousands and thousands and thousands of ordinary, normal people, mothers, fathers, they work in call centers. It's a real job these days, and unfortunately they're going to lose that job because of the scamsters and because the mooches won't stop buying. So God bless you, Marge.
But you can tell from what I just said and what you just said, that these polls are very distorted.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So anyway, here's the thing. As you know, I'm a total believer in Rasmussen because of their methodology is the best. And
what do they do different?
Well, they don't have any humans involved. It's all bots. It's the robots.
Okay.
So there's no emotions or anything like that. Whatever it is, it works because they're the most accurate. And it's almost like 2016. Remember when you and I, the last few days before the election, the Rasmussen poll went positive, it went above, you know, the Clinton and Trump actually crossed, and Trump went ahead. And that was, and the LA Times and the IBD were pretty similar. And that's when it really started to look like he was going to win. And also, you know, the market behavior was typical of an upset, because even though the correction was fairly gentle, we'd corrected from August through elections. Now, what's been going on with these elections is the market's been rallying off, you know, off the sort of, I guess, the lows a week and a bit ago, with a sort of crescendo of fear ahead of the midterms. And at that point, it looked like, you know, we were probably in the tailing stages of the so-called blue wave, right?
Right.
So that when that blue wave started looking real, the market crashed, and you know, it was helped by other factors as well. But yesterday, this poll came out, and the Republicans had notched 1 point ahead, which means that they should keep the House. Now, you know, that was yesterday. It's not, we don't know if it's going to happen today or not, but it certainly caused a pretty good rebound in the market yesterday. And I don't think I've ever seen an election, midterm election, with such a definitive, strong up move right from the open as we got today. And there's really two reasons for that. The first is it's probably a continuation of this Rasmussen trend yesterday. I think Trump had a very big finish last night with 2 days back to back, three speeches in a row, you know, which is, you know, he gets an AAA+ for effort, and people respect, you know, the effort he puts in. It's just the same way when Clinton won, you know, he was barnstorming, you know, he was almost going around the clock, and he won as a result. So, you know, carries a lot of weight. People have dismissed the number of people standing in the rain or wanting to go to a Trump rally. And the other thing is, this morning, the JOLTS came out, and even though it was down from its peak about 280,000, there's still 1 million more openings than the job openings than people available right now. Which and all of the, I think the JOLTS report was even better than the last one, because every, you know, all of the components were sort of breaking kind of records of some sort or another. So everything looks very good. Also the gold, you know, I looked at the gold last night, and I noticed there was a few dojis around the place, and it looked like they might have peaked, and sure enough, the gold is down today, which is another sign that Trump may swing it. And you know, he really, I mean, listen, he did 36 rallies since Labor Day, which is unheard of. Nobody's ever done that.
Where do you think he gets his energy from?
He's amazing. I mean, listen, this guy really is a very lucky, considering his, you know, diet and things like that, which is not the best. He seems to just have an unending energy, and to be able to go all his life with only 4 hours sleep, 3 or 4 hours sleep. I mean, he just.
Let me ask a question. I know that President Trump's quite unique in the quote-unquote clean lifestyle that he has led, other than the occasional Big Mac. I mean, this guy doesn't do bourbon, he doesn't do cigars, a lot of the stuff the high flyers do, he's just never done, and he's not overly religious. Not saying he's not a Christian.
He drinks a lot. He drinks milk too, which is not, you know, not necessarily. Some people can get heart disease from milk and things.
Milk is for calves.
Yeah.
Not
so he's very lucky, because he obviously has a good metabolism and a really, you know, a tremendous health. But look, his parents didn't live to 100, so, you know, he's getting, you know, I mean, his years may be numbered, especially with the kind of stress that he might be under in terms of the sheer weight of everything he's doing today. But although I think it kind of bounces off him, because he does have the, you know, he has this theory or theorem, if you like, where a daily routine where he just like puts everything that happened yesterday behind him and starts fresh with a very optimistic attitude and gets on with it. You know, he's able to brush off you know, what is. So he's an incredible.
Every day is a new day,
yeah,
a new world.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a pretty healthy way to approach life. Now, the question I want to ask in relation to Trump, I want to compare him to President John F. Kennedy. He was a young and Trump's not so young, but Kennedy was young but very energetic, and he created Camelot. Have we named? Oh, and by the way, because of cryptocurrency, we're now in the fourth industrial revolution.
Oh, I heard you saying that earlier on.
Okay, I thought you might. That's kind of a catchy concept. You could take that and run with it. So Kennedy, we find out after he leaves office, he was very heavily medicated by his physicians. If that's the real truth and to be believed, it's not fake news. I've seen a number of documentaries that support that. During his term in office, did anyone suspect in any way that he was using any performance-enhancing drugs?
Sorry, Kennedy?
John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
I don't know. You know, he was on drugs because he had a bad back and stuff.
Well,
you know,
yes, he was more doped up than half the people that the justice system put in prison during his tenure. But because he was the president and he had access to the White House doctor, he got what he wanted when he wanted it and wherever he wanted it. And then his wife got hopped up for a little bit, and then she got off. And she finally made him get off. But anyway, is there any possibility? I know it seems like a stretch because of the clean living and all that. Is Trump's energy natural?
I think it is. Yeah, I don't think he does. He's not into that kind of thing.
He's very anti-drug, and you know, he's not at one with a lot of physical afflictions or ailments. He seems to be in quite good health. What's his age again?
So I think he's 74.
74, man.
72.
I
72
could be running
or
around the
74.
country at 74 like that. Wow, what a great life.
Yeah. So, well, look, it's starting to look like he's going to swing it. I was looking, you know, even when Mike brought up the chart of the S&P a while ago, it kind of looked like it was going to break out to the upside. And you know, the way the Nasdaq pulled back this morning, it looked like it was going to trigger another upside move, which it has. But it's you know, it's stalling a little bit right now. But looking at Amazon and Google and Apple and these stocks that kind of recovered yesterday, started to recover, they kind of look like they could be setting up for a big upside move, which obviously probably happen tonight if they can swing you know, if they keep control of the House and the Senate. I mean, if Trump pulls this off, I noticed they repeated that CBS News quote. The former anchor, you know, said nobody's ever recovered from a 12-point loss in the polls a week before the election, which is where Trump was 2 years ago. And I think, you know, the midterms, you know, of course CNN is saying that Trump's got the worst rating ever at 39, if you want to believe that. You know, and they're saying that, you know, he hasn't got a hope in heck of holding the House. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But, you know, if he does hold it, and even, you know, with a reasonable number of seats, it will be a stunning accomplishment for sure. That's it'll be unprecedented, absolute, you know, historical record of monumental proportions, frankly. And you know, it's just another first for this guy. He's done so many things. I mean, look, in a year and a half, to be beating the pants off 8 presidents every, you know, is really
right.
And so many other things that are going our way. And look, so much to come, because in spite of it all, you know, if the Fed starts easing, which I think is going to happen next year, and starts setting up for 2020, there's this market really could go to 32,000 before 2020. And you know, it's interesting listening to Scaramucci because he's sort of saying that if you sort of adopt a 15-year plan to fix the U.S. economy, which I guess we're only a year and a half into, things could really, we could be setting up for the Roaring '20s in reality, and we probably are. And with wages starting to rise, it's very important for wages to rise because the cost of living has risen so much over the last 2 decades that people are really having a hard time making ends meet, and we've got to get the growth going and keep that growth going so it's compounding, so that everybody, all the boats are sharing, and cream floats to the top. So it's a big undertaking, but
when I went to the polls today, it was vacant. There was a couple of people milling around, but nothing like what I've seen in past elections. Is that typical for a midterm?
Could be. But look, he's got a very, I think the key to Trump to pulling it off, is how dedicated his supporters are to getting out the vote and voting and not, and making a difference. And if that happens, then he's got a pretty good chance of pulling it off. So, and he's got a pretty dedicated base. I mean, look, from being on Twitter that his followers are, I mean, look, anybody who listens to this show, there's not much Trump can do wrong, really. Even though he steps out of line a few, here and there, upsets people, it gets forgotten about pretty quick. And the numbers are staggering now. There's about 86% feeling better about themselves, and are feeling better than about where they're going and their life and their jobs. That is a stunning statistic. Remember when Obama, in the same time of Obama back in 10-11, there was only 13% of the U.S. felt we were going in the right direction. So these are staggering numbers. And look, Trump has unfortunately made a few mistakes. The most glaring one, when you think about it, I mean, they're battling for the Senate. I mean, hopefully they're going to end up with more seats, but wouldn't it be, imagine if we got to 59, let's say that they got to 59 seats, right? And they just couldn't get the 60th. How and why would that be? It would be because Trump made a serious miscalculation when he appointed Jeff Sessions the Attorney General, because he thought this seat was a walkover, and it turned out in Alabama, and it turned out not to be. That was a bad call, because listen, what are the ramifications of that were quite far-reaching, because I think if that seat had, I'm not sure if that seat counted with McCain, but if it didn't count, we lost that lost that vote. If they'd had that seat, they probably would have swung it. I'm not sure if it was before or after, but you get the point. How important that one seat in the Senate could still be. And it's tragic that seat was lost, frankly,
I agree.
And unfortunately, because of the circumstances, it sort of resurrected. Every now and then, CNN just they have to go back and dig up all the dirt on Trump at every opportunity, and of course when that happened, because of Ray Moore's situation, and same with Kavanaugh, they bring all this stuff out again, and it doesn't help, So I mean, look, it's a tough world out there, but if he does win and carries this through, he will definitely be regarded as a political genius. That's for sure. And remember, look, he hasn't been around that long. I mean, he's only been, what is it, June 15. Was it? Yeah, June 15.
Is that when he came down the escalator?
Yeah. I mean, it's June 8, three and a bit years, 3 1/4 years, and he is, I mean, this guy's in the news every single day since.
And this Trump economy, John, this Trump economy, it's not just the United States. Yeah, we may be sanctioning China, but China's booming because of what's happening in America.
Of course they are. Of course they are. We're the buyer of last resort.
This is why they're not making too much noise about the tariffs. There's Chinese engineers qualified to go run this Foxconn plant in Wisconsin. They're doing so well in China, they don't want to come to Wisconsin all of a sudden because it's too cold. Did you hear me talking earlier? They're going to the high school.
I tuned in early today, and I heard you talking about Ciudad del Este in Paraguay, which and there's a kind of a mini Ciudad del Este up in somewhere in the northeast. I think it's in Vermont, where a town has a hydroelectric station
I heard about that.
Nearby, and the electricity was very cheap, and then all these Bitcoin came in and started raising the price of electricity and stuff, and there's all kinds of uproar about it. But it's fascinating, actually. So I mean, if we get this, we're probably going to have a slowdown in the economy after this quarter. There's still a chance that the fourth quarter could be an upside surprise in growth. Could possibly pop back over 4, even 5, maybe, with Christmas and everything coming. But it looks like the next the next quarter, January, probably the second quarter of 2019 could be a bit softer, and maybe enough for the Fed to start thinking about easing off or even lowering rates and getting ready for 2020. But if the economy kind of gets a second wind, and spending picks up again, and consumer confidence remains high, there's a very real possibility that you could see 2,500 on Amazon. You could see 250 on Apple. You could maybe even higher. You could see 130 on Microsoft. These are numbers that would take the Dow up towards 30,000. So it's and we've sort of had this pullback, which actually held up really, really well. I mean, holding the S&P holding as well as it did, and bouncing back this strongly is really pretty impressive. And if you look, why don't you pull up the monthly on the S&P there, Dwayne?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We'll use this one right here and get rid of these drawings.
Is that a daily?
This is a daily.
Yeah, I mean, look at the daily. It's sort of like completely turned, and it's starting to look like a V bottom.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? Here we go. See, leg and a retrace, and a leg and a retrace, and a leg and a retrace, and a leg, and then a bearish cross. Same horse, different direction.
Yeah.
Leg, retrace, leg, retrace. All right, you want to go to monthly? We'll go to monthly.
See that? I mean, that's an outside day. A big outside day was the the turning point, and then that very strong upside, which was an enormous update. That was the day that we went up 20 points, 50 points that day.
Yeah, you're talking about this outside day right here?
Yeah. No, the other one. The one lower. No.
Oh, the one down here. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that set the stage, didn't it?
It sure did.
Well, but one last thing on the polls. I heard them discussing last night that something that's becoming more and more common, it seems, is that when the pollsters or the wife asks, who you're voting for, how you're voting, some people are closet Republicans. Do you think that's true, or is that just fair and balanced reporting?
No, I think that's true.
Okay.
So if you could squeeze that up a bit.
I'm trying. Oh, you know what? I got to take it to the continuous.
Or even put the weekly up first.
Well, here, let me.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can do the weekly. I just had to switch contracts to the continuous. Anyone who doesn't know, at ES is the continuous S&P 500 E-mini contract. You can use it for purposes such as what we're using it for right here, right now, but you can't actually trade that symbol. You have to trade the current front month, which currently is December.
In a kind of a way, Dwayne. Actually, can you push it up a little bit more just to see that what that bottom looks like?
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. See, it looks a lot like. I think that was the Brexit. Was that the Brexit? Oh no, that was the Trump. That was the Trump. It's starting to look like, a little bit like the Trump pullback there.
I'll tell you what, if this thing here, John, if it extends below this low, we got a problem.
Yeah, no, we definitely have. But if it keeps going up from here, if this is what I'm trying, you know, it's. I mean, look at these bottoms. It's starting to look like.
This was a good, healthy retracement. You're right. If we take off from here, we've got some terra firma beneath us.
Yeah. It would be very. And the other thing is, it's kind of an ABC wave type formation, right? You have an ABC, a B wave went to new highs. This is the C wave. Well, the larger version of that, if you look at the left peak, that's 2000. The bottom here is 2002. The top is 2007. The bottom is 2009, and we're on our way now back. You know, for the next, you know, up to 3,200, 3,300 on the S&P because of the structure of that correction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a equidistant, near perfect ABC formation, you know, and in just the same way as the 2009 bottom completed very quickly and lifted off pretty quickly. This is a mini version of that happened in the last month. And you know, the territory or whatever, the environment is favorable to upside November and December seasonally, especially after a big, you know, pullback. And I mean, look, the way this market turned around was pretty stunning. I mean, you know, most people never saw it coming, the big rebound, because near the lows, as we're getting down towards 2,600, people were getting pretty scared, right? And I noticed that that CNN thing, the extreme fear thing.
I've not seen that.
Yeah,
the only time I see CNN is when they replay it on Fox.
Just Google CNN Extreme Fear Index, because it was interestingly, during all this rally, it's been locked down at about, you know, almost close to 100% fear and greed. It's called Fear and Greed. Yeah.
Fear and Greed Index.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. You see that indicator is at 11. It was 8 all last week.
And what are we fearful of?
Fear of the market going down further. So it's really.
Well, I'll tell you what. If the blue wave materializes today, we are going down. We're going way down, way down. You need to get that?
Yeah, I do. Listen, I better wrap it up. But thanks very much for the invite.
John. It's been great. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Okay, let me take care of John's mic. The guy's got a 4 o'clock webinar coming up. I only have 100 free seats, but you can still get one. Let me take care of his mic, and then I'm going to put a link in the room, in the chat box. So, if need be, you can. If you haven't registered, you can, if you want to come. Now, today's topic. Listen close. Never get stopped out again. Is that true? Is that possible? Well, I brought a guy on the show yesterday that told you didn't need a stop loss, right? Oh, you know, I'm very pro stop loss, but I'm giving this fellow the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to see if it's different this time. It's $100. You know, I'll throw $100 at it, and I'll see what happens. And I'll let you know. I'll document it. I'll make a documentary. That's what I'll do. Like I don't have enough to do already. Lord have mercy, Daniel says, if the GOP loses the House. What reaction do you guys do? Well, yeah, Yeah. Bob wants a seat. Okay, let me get the link. Let me get the link. I'll put it in the box. Daniel, I usually put everything in on our YouTube channel, whatever it is. Even if I'm just like doodling with video, I have to host it somewhere, so I just usually stick it there. It's better than sticking on our own server, because on our own server it's just a video sitting there. But when you put it on YouTube, it comes alive, and they got the embed code and all that jazz, and then you can just post it anywhere. No, just go to youtube.com/CFRN. And I'll probably do it live, so anybody that wants to just go to youtube.com/CFRN/live, I will broadcast the webinar live today. But let me give you the link, just in case. Oh, especially if we have a large number and all the free seats are filled, when you arrive with the go-to, it'll say, sorry, room's full. If that happens, go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. Now, am I going to reveal some incredible esoteric arcane trick? Am I going to reveal the one weird trick that allows you to never get stopped out again? What I'm going to do is I'm going to help you to retrain the way you think. We're going to look at this a little bit differently, and I think you'll come away with a bit of a load off your shoulders. If not, well, I tried. Still hunting that link. Here we go. Found it. Okay. Now it says I'm having network connection difficulties. I assume you can still hear me. But perhaps I assume too much. Yes, Daniel, it is always a good day when you learn something new. Anyone that has not been to CFRN on the YouTube, you should go there. youtube.com/CFRN. It's got basically every radio show from the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. That's when we added the video. Remember, we used to just be audio. We were just radio. And then after the show, we turned it to podcast. Now it's a vodcast. Video podcast. All right, so there's the link. Sign them up. I must say, I did make quite a lovely and compelling call to action. That's what it's called, call to action. Call to action image. Yes, I did. And I'm going to show it to you as soon as I find it. Let me just talk to you about something off topic for a moment, and then we'll get back to business. Have you ever listened to a podcast, or maybe you watched the Shark Tank, okay? And somebody gets up there and they do their little skit. I guess that's what you call it. They do their skit. And eventually the question comes around after, well, how much does it cost to make it, and how much do you sell it for? How do you acquire new customers? Have you ever heard somebody say, social media? Just Facebook. And then they say something really insane like, yeah, we did $2 million last year and we spent $5,000 on Facebook. No, you did not. So I've been investigating this, being the documentarian that I apparently am growing up to be. And you really can get interactions with people from all over the world for a couple pennies. It's true. I wonder how I could, I've got this on my other monitor. I can't drag the whole browser up there. It's too heavy. It's got too many tabs. But, okay, budget. Okay, I spent $20 over 5 days. I reached 22,744 people. 174 people clicked on my link. It cost me 11 cents per link click. Now that same link click on Google AdWords, about $1.75. $2. Same click. That's fascinating. Now, I never really, I did attempt Facebook advertising for a number of things. It kind of way back, but I was approaching it from the wrong perspective. You can, like, I got a pop-up from Facebook today that said, hey, if you want 30 people, I don't know, no, it was if you want 5 to 10 people a day to visit your website, then just agree to spend $50 a day. No, that's how I figured out before that Facebook does not work for me. It's not for me. I can do that on AdWords, and I think I get better results there. But when the trade-off goes from, reaching 10 people or 100 people to reaching 22,000 people, and of the 22,000 you reached, 11,000 of them actually clicked the link and went to your landing page, whatever that is. It could be your website, it could be your call to action, whatever it is. Why am I telling you all this? Because Michael and I firmly believe that along with you learning how to trade, which, if you learn how to trade, that can provide you with a very nice income. But we also believe that everyone should have multiple income streams. Multiple income streams. What does that mean? Well, you've got your trading income. Take some of that money and plow it into some other ventures, so that if any one of them ever slows down for whatever reason, okay, with Jesus we have no plan B, but everything else in life gets a plan B. Big one. Big plan B. Right? Am I right? Okay. Now, like I said, that was there for whoever needed it. If you want to get together, I'm going to start a Facebook group. All the podcasts say, oh, the group is the bomb. So, we got pages. We got Emini Futures Trading, and we got Crypto Daily Info, and we got CFRN. We need to promote that more. The Christian Financial Radio Network. We have a page. It's a pretty page, I think. It's hard to tell because when you log into your own page, you see all this blinding stuff. There needs to be a little button that says, see this as other people see it. Yeah. Okay. Up here. Is this a Trader Vic? Your first guess is probably no. Because with the Trader Vic, we like to see it go up and then come back and kiss the top. And, well, if we turn this to something less than 30 minutes, probably 1 minute, I think that's exactly what we'll see. Take a look. Let's go 5 minutes, see what happens. Oh, it never did come back and touch on the 5. Okay. Not looking like a Trader Vic anywhere. 1 minute, it could hardly get out of its own way. Yeah, these lines aren't tracking properly either. I think you can see that. So let me try to explain the point I was trying to make. The Trader Vic is simply that price breaks out of or pushes above a trend line or below, okay, and then comes back to rest on the top of the trend line. Like I got through. It's just like, think of it as a weekly trading zone. Named Eileen. No, sorry, Eileen. I apologize. It's nothing like a weekly trading zone other than it's a line, and we all know that weekly trading zones are dotted lines, not solid lines. This is just a trend line, is all it is. And a Trader Vic, some guy named Vic wrote a book, put this in there, became the Trader Vic. He goes up, comes back, sits on the top. Now see, if this candle closes positive, that's a pretty good indication that we've broken out of, was there a channel there? I hadn't even attempted. I made a triangle. I didn't attempt any fancy footwork with a, but I could, I guess. if I'm gonna go channel surfing, I gotta do this. No, not that. This. Like that. And then I'll leave that there for now. Okay, I'm gonna copy this, Control C. Now I'm gonna drop it, Control V. Now I'm gonna grab it, and you gotta grab it from the middle, because if you grab it from the end, you'll change the angle. So grab it in the middle, just pull it into place, park it. Speaking of parking it, you might know someone who has Parkinson's. Let me ask you a question. Do you have any, are you on a probiotic? If you're not on a probiotic, you might want to be on a probiotic. The connection between gut health and brain health is, they're drawing some pretty interesting results from the studies that they're doing. And if you take care of your tummy will take care of your brain. That's what they say. But here's the deal. If you have this gut problem and you don't address it, that is one of the leading contributing factors to Parkinson's. Michael J. Fox, as we know, what a brave man. Since he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he's done 2 TV shows, 2 TV series. On a darker note, the funniest man in America, as he was billed for a very long time, Mork, of Mork and Mindy, he too had Parkinson's, and many say that's why he chose to take his life, because he didn't think he could live with it in the manner that Michael J. Fox and others have learned to live with it. Now, that's just one of the theories. The others, that the Illuminati came and got Mork. If you think I'm kidding, Google it. Daniel, you've been hanging out with my wife. Kombucha. And my kids love it. When my wife makes kombucha, the kids, like, they dance around in the kitchen. Well, not so much anymore. They're 16 and 11. But I think they're jumping up and down inside. They love it. I don't. How long you been drinking the kombucha, Daniel? I'm not keen on the taste. I'll tell you what I do like very much, and that's wheatgrass juice. But there's a lot of work involved with wheatgrass juice. Now, I think if everybody drank 1 ounce or 2 ounces, you got to work your way up, because it's powerful. But if you drink 2 ounces of wheatgrass juice, if you work your way up to 2 ounces of wheatgrass juice a day, you walk out on your back porch, clip it yourself, you grow it in these little trays, clip it, put it in the juicer. You can even use one of the old hand grinders and juice it up, get yourself 2 ounces, toss it back. The first, I don't know how many times, you'll go, that's horrible. But that's how they get you. Pretty soon you'll start to enjoy that taste, because your body, the second it hits your taste buds, after a period of time, your body gets trained and your body knows what's coming. It's like I don't know, it's like you take your body to the circus or something. I mean, it gives your body everything it needs, all these vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and all that stuff that they claim comes in the pill, in the bottle, the vitamin store. But you can't get much closer to Mother Earth than growing and juicing your own wheatgrass juice. That's strong medicine. And I'm going to start up again. That was one of the things I found so captivating about my wife. When I met her, the young hippie chick dancing barefoot to fiddle music in Balboa Park, she worked for a chiropractor in San Diego, and a couple of doors down there was this house that had a back porch, a screened-in back porch with all these trays of wheatgrass and a hand grinder, and anybody that knew about this secret spot could go there And you could go up on the back porch. You didn't have to knock. You just walk right in, get you down a tray, clip some up, juice it, toss it back, feel good. Wow, that was a long time ago. But I remember it. And your body will remember the wheatgrass juice. Like I said, after a while, as soon as it hits your taste buds, it's like your cells start dancing. Because here comes good stuff. Because we put a lot of bad stuff in there. And sometimes our cells get sad. Seasonal angst disorder. Alright, moving on. Blueberry flavor, it's delicious. Now that's kombucha. You don't flavor your wheatgrass. Kind of sparkly. Yeah, I've never been a sparkly kind of guy. Never been the sparkly man. You get it at Whole Foods? Well, my wife makes her own. If you ever want the recipe, let me know and I'll tell you how to do it. Arlene says nutritionfacts.org has a lot of great videos on practically any health issue. They use studies and tell you how well done the studies are. Oh, that's great news. I'm going to share that. I'm going to put that in the chat box, guys. It's nutritionfacts.org. But I know some of you maybe you're away from your desks, whatever. Nutritionfacts.org. Send to all. There you have it. Nutritionfacts.org. Thank you, Arlene. I appreciate that. Okay, we got to shuffle along here. Let's just take a quick peek. The Dow. Now, we did L2 yesterday. I think our charter says we're supposed to do the Concierge Trade Alerts today. So, let's do that. They came out at 11:55 p.m. Eastern last night. A little later than normal, but the markets were just, well, you know. On the Dow, what happened? Consider being long. We've not triggered. No trigger. Russell. Oh, the number was 25,620. If you can use that later today, be my guest. Okay. On the Russell, and I'll bring these up so you can grab a screenshot in a moment if you would like. Consider being long 1555. Is that right? 1555. Hey, how about that Walking Dead Sunday night? Have you heard the backstory? He's not gone. He's going to make Dead movies for AMC. I thought he was tired. I'm tired. Alright. 1555. We put in a swing high up at 1560 and a half. However, this is what we did first. Full disclosure. Trigger on the short side. 1544. Right there. This is where that closing below can come in handy. Although you closed above here, right? And look what happened. You can't prevent this. Don't try. You either boldly go where no candle is gone before, or you sit on your hands. One of the two. There was a question in the chat box that passed by. Let me go back to that. About the dots. I guess that came up earlier. No? No. Daniel, do those dots print on the CFRN indicator package? Yes. Yes, those are part of the indicator package. He's referring to these. CFRN. It was too long to say dynamic support and resistance, so we just called it SR. But the official name is CFRN, dynamic support and resistance. And by dynamic, it means it's calculating in real time. It's no look ahead projections or any of that. See how price came down, found support. Now before this leg took off, dot, 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 dot. Okay, now price should have came to a halt there. It did, But on the second go, and this is what we call broken resistance. When I use the dots, and I don't, you don't see them on my charts a lot because I've become a minimalist. I used to be, there was an indicator or oscillator on the planet that I didn't have. I guess that means I still have them, but I don't use any. I only use what you see me put up on the chart. That's all. You know, I don't need anything more than that. It becomes too many choices. Like if I go to buy a shirt at Walmart, okay, they got some special shirts there that I like. If they got a blue one and a white one, great, I'd take one of each. But if they got a blue one, a white one, a green one, a brown one, a pink one, a yellow one, and a black one, am I going to walk out of there with 7 shirts? Probably, because I can't make up my mind. Or I'm going to walk out of there with no shirts because I can't make up my mind. Neither one's a favorable outcome. Now this is 30 minutes, so it'll calculate on the 30 minute. It'll calculate on the 5 minute. Broken resistance. As I was about to say, one of my favorite trades is when we hit resistance and break it. You just wait for price. These are 5-minute candles. Wait for price to come back and test. And I can argue that to be an up close. I don't think it's red. And then look, off we go. This is a 5-minute Russell chart, just drawn at random or pulled up at random. Now that was 5 minutes. We can jump out to a daily. We should probably jump out on a chart that doesn't have all that writing on it. And maybe we can bump it up to 1 hour. Yeah. Look at that. And look at that. And look at that. Now imagine, now you saw what I just did. You saw what it looked like on the 5 minute. You saw what it looked like on a 30 minute. You see what it looks like on an hour. So if you get long off this hour and then you let the 5 minute take you out, would that be sweet or what? Because you got long at 1544, which, yeah, perfect. 1544-ish right here. Okay, get you long. Now, let's see where the 5 minute takes you out. Bang. Right at the high? No way. Way. Look at that. I don't know how it gets any better than that. And yet I don't use them because, again, too many choices. Too many choices is not good for me. Now see how the 30 minute looks? Got broken resistance. But go to the 5. Bam. You hit that wall. You hit it hard. You took your profits. You had a nice trade. Remember, the 30 got you in and the 5 got you out. All right, moving on. Crude. Still no exit signal on the crude. Now, in the live training room today, we said to consider selling 62.20. I think it was 62.20. Michael put it up earlier. Swing low so far, 61.31. So that's almost a. If we had gotten a candle all the way down to 61.20, 62.20 to 61.20 is $1,000 per contract. Now for an exit signal, we need the step line to cross the red CFMA1, and then we need a green candle to close above. So you're probably thinking, well, this should be an exit signal, or that should be an exit signal. Well, the only problem is the step line hasn't crossed yet. And until the step line crosses, see how it's pointing to the side? It's saying, let's do the sideways walk. When it points up, price is going higher. When it points down, price is going lower. Pegged it pretty good, eh? So what you want to see here is if you're still in this trade, you can always shed contracts on the way down, pay yourself on the way down. Could this pop all the way up and do a repeat. They usually don't repeat on an extended move like this, but anything's possible, especially today being election day. And tonight on Globex, it could get wild as the results start to come in. If you've never traded election results on Globex, ooh-wee, come hang out with us tonight. You know what? The spirit of bipartisan politics. I'm not sure what that means, but no, I have an idea. We are, in case you missed that memo, we are having this week a free trial of the Logic 247. Now, it was going to be a one-day only trial. I got talked into extending it to 2 days, and the pressure's on for a third day. I mean, how many trades do you got to see? But let's do this. For all those who were unable, unwilling, or just did not know that such a thing was transpiring and taking place, allow me to provide you with a link. Okay. We'll go another session. Really, all you have to do, I'm going to give you the whole link. If you're already on Telegram, just Logic 247 Alpha Results. It's that simple. But let me go t.me. Here we go. And there you go. Okay. For the remainder of this session, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off on tomorrow's session, free trial, no cost. Come to the channel, read. There's a discussion group. Let me give you that link too, I guess. Ask questions in the discussion group. You can't post in the alert channel. What I'm doing is I'm making a carbon copy of everything that gets posted in the official alert channel. I'm carbon copying it over into the trial channel. Now, this isn't something that's going to have an ongoing trial the way we do in the live training room and all of that. This is different. And once you've had a look at this and the results, it's either for you or it's not. I mean, it's what I put up on the screen. This and the Concierge Trade Alerts. Now, keep in mind, when you become a passport holder, you have the Concierge Trade Alerts and Logic 247 and the weekly trading zones and the indicators and unlimited one-on-one personal mentoring. Hard to find that. Unlimited mentoring. Okay, so we know what we did on Crude. I put both links in the chat box. No? Okay. That's the active members. Public discussion. There we go. Okay. Okay, now this is the public discussion group. So get on in there and mix it up. There we go. So the first one is the alert channel. Now I haven't recapped since the open this morning. So there's trades in there that maybe got stopped out, some that didn't trigger, some that hit their target, partial target. I haven't had a chance to look. I ran the vote and came back and had to do this and that and had to do the daily doubles and NASDAQ. We did the NASDAQ. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. So we hit the final target once. We hit the final target twice. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Do we have an exit signal yet? Let us take a look. Ooh-wee. Look at there. See how the step line walked across? It walked across the blue CFMA1. So we need a red close below the step line. Did we get a red close below the step line? No. Could this be another leg? Leg, retrace, leg? It could. So if you got in here, and wrote it up. Remember, you can't get out at the swing high because you don't know it's the swing high till after the fact. You get out the target, you get out the final target, you can get out the exit signal, you can do all kinds of things. Now, see how this kept you in beyond your natural ability to endure sitting and watching this thing? Because if it takes off again, yes, it could become a double top, but it could also become this. Instead of a high at 70.34, we could be looking at a high at 70.86. That's an additional 50 points at $20 a point. From here to here is $1,000 per contract. And this is just Fibonacci math, Fibonacci price extensions. Those of you on the DT Pro platform, you have access to this very powerful tool. And if you need to know how to use it, book a private mentoring session. These zones, of course, from last week. Did we, let's see, I don't know if we had a trade on gold. I don't normally lose track in my head. I try not to. Let me look. GG, CZ. Nope, we had nothing on gold. Concierge Trade Alert. Oh, that's what I was tracking on. Concierge Trade Alert. So 12.26. We're right at that spot. There was all this congestion in here, and so now we're right there. 12.26. Swing low so far 12.24.90. 110 bucks per contract. If you haven't traded copper, you know, a 1 penny move from 276 to 275 is $250 per contract. Here we dropped from 77 to 73. So that's 4 pennies. That's $1,000 per contract. Copper is not part of the Concierge Trade Alerts. Now on crude, we were looking to sell 62.35 on the Concierge Trade Alert. So that was actually at a better price than the 62.20 that we got in at. Okay, now this is drawing all the way back up to the BBC. Entry right here, 62.20. 62.20. So what do? Do you let it just come up and stop you out? This is where you have to make some decisions. Okay, if you've already taken off most of your position or some of your position, there's no reason that you would ever allow this to take back your profit. Once you know you're in an extended move, you just take your initial hard stop loss, drag it down to the target. Okay, now if the target was $400 per contract, then yes, you missed all this, and then you come back up and you get whacked, but you still have this. And more importantly, you had the opportunity to do something here. Maybe you want to use the dots. Maybe you have keen sight and you see that price is walking sideways. That's the first indication that an extended move is over, the sideways walk. And with these tools, it really makes it stand out for you. Okay. Okay. You were still struggling on a 30-minute with that. All I did was just connect this swing high to this swing high. And yes, we've spiked it a few times. And you know what? The more times we spike it, the more convinced I am we're headed lower. And I think, I hope we get an upside surprise. But when the poll numbers start coming in at night, and I encourage you to join us on Globex. It should be a very active session. I think we're going to see lower prices if the blue wave materializes. And I don't mean that in a political, partisan way. I just mean I think that's how the markets react. That's all. Now, I've given you the link to the webinar. Never get stopped out again. No, it's not some arcane thing that I discovered. I used to have a host that had all these little clever things. I'm going to help you think differently. I want you to understand the incredible role that perception plays every time that you place an order to go long or sell short. Once I speak this forth, you're going to go, oh. You're going to go like, well, that's elementary, Watson. But you're going to go home with it, and you're going to kick the covers tonight thinking about it, and then it's going to come back to you in the morning in the shower. And every time you sit down in front of a chart going forward, guess what? You're going to think about what I said. Once I teach you this, your confidence may skyrocket. If you're tired of boom and bust trading, sick of getting stopped out to the tick, if you're ready to see the market as never before, this webinar is live, it's free, and I'd love to see you there. And seats are filling up. They're not full yet, but they're filling up. And 4 p.m. Eastern, which means I need to bid you adieu so I can do some of the things I have to do, because I do a lot. Well, maybe my wife wouldn't agree with that, but I try to do a lot. Don't we all? We've been talking about the roller coaster ride of life for the last 4 days. Let's make it 5. He has made everything appropriate in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. Giving up mid-ride isn't an option. It's foolish. A depressed church member told his pastor, I'm tired of trying. I've been down so long, I can't muster up the faith to believe God for deliverance anymore. The pastor said, first, you can never justify quitting because you have the Lord on your side. He won't quit on you. He promised that he would never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31:8. Now, second, his word says in 2 Timothy 2:13, if we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself. It's not just a matter of your faith, it's a matter of his faithfulness. When you can't seem to believe, instead of focusing on your faith in him or the lack of it, begin to focus on his faithfulness to you. Because see, he said he would never leave us or forsake us. He's a man of his word, or he isn't. What great counsel for this roller coaster ride of life. Now, here's some more encouraging observations. God doesn't owe us an explanation, so we shouldn't look for one. But he does promise an exit. At the time you are put to the test, he will give you the strength to endure and provide you with a way out. 1 Corinthians 10:13. Until he gets you out of it, rest assured he'll get you through it. Your part, your job, is to stay on the roller coaster. Number 4. He's producing good in all your circumstances. Romans 8:28, we all know it. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. God is the distance between peaks and troughs. Number 5. While he does so, the Son and Spirit intercede with the Father for you daily. Romans 8:26, 8:32, 8:34, 8:39. With all that going for you, with all that going for us, how do we not make it? You gotta have a little faith. George Michael. Closing out the show this 6th day of November 2018. If I had that George Michael song queued up, I would play it. But I don't, so I guess I won't. But I will see you at the webinar today, 4 p.m. Okay, it's not going to be long. Come, hang out. You don't have to dress up. Comb your hair. Other than that, it's casual. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this. There is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.